for the most part, seems like it's a lot of separated time to the value. Deeper than any one particular perception. Seems like most individuals struggle with some of that same reference of the value of if it will or if it won't, who's that and who's not. Just particularly to the right understanding of feeling complete, right? We equate everything to the spiritual aspect because it is at the end of the day. Like, you get used to seeing what's not the norm, and then you got to like wait for other individuals to catch up because life moves with people. Like, the whole body can't move unless all parts of the body is working, right? So we talking about everything in a whole. And what's natural to it, you know what I'm saying? It's ultimately a war of two processes, you know. The whole existence is in a yin yang, particularly. Start seeing, you know, all actions of individual purpose, right? People, how they move individually. And everything is held up by false references, like it's always supposed to be the divine understanding first, and then everything else to follow, lack thereof of whatever choice, you're supposed to be able to be apt to still choose divine first. You know, you can have long conversations about if you are putting the divine first, and then we start to see the attributes of individuals, how they play whatever specific aspect of reality, and then it's like, well, I guess just from their personal experience, they're not even choosing the divine, and it's for some reason it's granted because those are the polarities, right? The good and the bad aspect of life itself. So you have people who will take the easy way out and just say, you know, F it, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Forget the spiritual connection to the body. It's almost like your hand twitching or you getting numb fingers and stuff. You know, it's like that is a reality. But then those are symbolic to the people who don't follow the body, right? The complete body. And then we look at life and we say, oh, these people got sick, or this person went away and got locked up, or this bad thing happened to this person. And it's like, that's the body going disarray. Like, who's comfortable with having their body not on the same page? This is what I was speaking to in another upload a while ago, and I was saying, how are you comfortable knowing that your body or your elbow is trying to be a part of your back? And then it becomes funny, right? It's a joke to most individuals because, you know, the abomination. So then if you say these words, then nobody really is apt to understand. It's like, oh, I want to be an abomination, you know. And you see these things take place, and it's a plea like, you know, my body not working right in a whole. Can we get this together so everything in a nutshell can be on the same plane, right? So the body can be working on the same plane of existence, so everything works right. But then this goes back to like old sciences, old understandings of days of the past. I know this for a particular understanding. Like, I was privy to have certain studies or be able to read certain old scripts or whatever, or listen to people talk about old stories, and ultimately it was speaking about how there's contracts just to give the body an existence. Contracts that give the body an existence. All the way down to each joint in between your toes and your fingers, your knees, your spinal cord, all the organs, the cells splitting apart to make new organs, your voice, how you put yourself together and see yourself in the mirror. Ultimately, having that as a reality, then you see the contracts start to fail because society doesn't work right. It's not about a body individually, right? Like the people individually don't see themselves as a whole. You go and you find yourself in four walls with a couch and a TV, and you're comfortable despite other parts of the body not being apt to work correctly. But then if you're sick, you're crying out for other parts of the body to help you solve that sickness. And it's the illest contrast to a reality that really blows my mind. Because we speak on high vibration and we speak on treating people how you possibly would want to be treated, but then that's not a reality because the body remembers getting punched. You know what I'm saying? Like you remember getting punched and that part of the body hurt. Now, we're not talking about specifically, we're talking, or literally, we're talking about one person going through something and singling that out as their own personal experience. Like if I'm watching something on TV and I see somebody hit their legs, like I really don't feel it in my legs. Now I do. It's called empathy. It's like, ooh, some people started numbing their reality to see blood like it was normal. And some people, even in some movies, like, not for nothing, Paid in Full, people die every day, B. That shit is dumb as hell to me. It's like the dumbest reality I ever heard. People die every day. But if it's somebody that you're close to, then it's important. Well, I don't come from that family, so I can't feel that. Now, I feel every single death that takes place is a reality. But then when that death takes place, it's like peeling off dead skin. And that's how it's treated. So what if it gets to the most important parts of the body that's really needed, you know, like the heart, like the brain, like your lungs, your stability, like your feet, your joints. Those things start getting tampered with, and then it's like, wait, I need something to help me. So then you cry out for the body. Nothing is going to always stay adequate to be in its full form. But in the same breath, those things don't recognize the body until they're afflicted. That goes back to old science. It's like saying everything is inherently evil. So then there was a curse just to become a body. To be born in this world, it was a curse. I had a friend of mine at one point. He was a friend for a long time, and he used to say, oh, I love life, but he was very selfish. He only loved life from the perspective of how he can see it, not from the understanding of how other things are affected in that same reality. And you start to see that as a form of selfishness, like he's a part of the body, but also disconnected from it. And you see that manifestation with a lot of individuals, right? And we create these words and terms to have various amounts of forms of reality, but then in the same breath, those various amounts of reality start to beg to differ when something happens to the particular understanding of that individual. The world is not going to get it together until they understand you can't be a world without people. You can't have a process without people. You can't continuously have the growth. And it's like, well, if we degrade one part, then the other part will need this part. So then that starts to fall away farther from the understanding of what a body means. And then ultimately, the terms start to create more realities like hierarchy, first, second, and third, best and less. How do you judge the body in that retrospect? So then you start having races and games and playful understanding. And these playful understandings go far from the understanding of being just